Alafia, aho, ase, namaste, and welcome to Shadow of Woes. Today we're going to touch on a few topics. One of the most important topics is understanding the purpose and the use of spiritual tools. In understanding this video, as we will go along into other topics which are very important, we need to understand the reason why us, as spiritualists who work in Espiritita and who works in spiritualism, why do we use flowers? Why do we use plants such as Siempre Viva? Why do we use certain things to clean ourselves, to give as offerings? First of all, us as humans and people in general, we do have sin. This is the first thing to understand. Flowers, whether they are picked fresh, which is even better, or whether they are growing wild, certain flowers and plants that belong to certain spirits and Orishas, they go by an order of things. So for example, when you are using flowers, flowers grow in the sun, plants grow in the sun. So in understanding that, the flowers don't break the order of the universe. So we clean ourselves with flowers because this is the order in which they go of the universe. Us as humans, we tend to bend a little bit and we tend to do things that are not really considered as an order of the universe. Now, when we're using white flowers, the one that is most safe to use when you're starting off, if you don't get a reading, or if you do and you're not too sure on what to do, you take the white flowers. You can give it as an offering if you have an altar, also known as a boveda. Now you can take these and you could place them on your altar, or you could sprinkle a little bit of Florida water, a little bit of cascarilla, and you clean yourself with those flowers and let it be, because that cleans your aura. What's most important is understanding that before we pray to any spirit, any Orisha, any saint, is knowing that we pray to God first. We have to really wonder, do we really think that we are the only ones in this universe? Do we really think that only the Milky Way galaxy exists? Well, that stays for a later date. However, spirits do exist, whether they're lower energies, unwanted energies, whether they're good energies, they exist. So whenever you feel the need to pray, the best place to pray is in nature. We work with flowers when we're dealing with spiritual faith. Even those who are crowned in Orisha faith, they always work with flowers and prayers and so forth. Why? Because the spirit comes first. Alafia, aho, ase, namaste, salamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. Flowers are very, very important. Whether we have good or bad energy, we can even clean the walls like this with our flowers and hit them. So now I'm sending you this video so that we can learn step by step the importance of spiritualism and understanding in Yoruba tongue. Just like in Hebrew, we say Yahweh. For us, it's Olodumare, Olofi. For those who are from this land, we say God, okay? Now for Native Americans and so forth, oftentimes they say the Great Spirit or Great Creator. Now in understanding that prayers of God comes first, I get many emails and questions that I'm going to clear up that's very important. To open your road, you talk to your great creator first. You talk to Olofi, Olodumare first. Then you do your prayers for spirits. These flowers, and like I said, even with Siempre Viva, the plants belong to the world. They're not just like, okay, this is my plant, and no, it belongs to the world. They are gifts from God. They are gifts from Osai. Timbalese Olodumare is what I say. Timbalese Alofi Okan. I have my heart for God. I have my heart for Olodumare. So we must also understand in Espiritismo, especially those who are priests and priestess, whether you only have Sansei done, 21 divisions, and then you grow and you're a mambo and you're guiding and leading people. Most importantly, we don't have power over other people. We give advice, and the time and sacrifice that we use to give that advice is based on our blessings that appointed us. So for example, I have a Chosi crown. My mother is Yemaya, I'm born from Ochun and so forth. But I wouldn't be anything unless it was for God, for the great creator. I wouldn't be anything, and neither would you, unless it was for a higher being. So by me mentioning about Achosi and different Orishas, they're the ones that give us the go. They're the ones that give us the rights to take care of someone else. Now, people don't owe us anything. Once they do good, we watch them fly. Like my Tata, he says, spread your wings and fly. Honor your crown, let your crown shine. San Sisto Brujo Lewis says, Lucy Progresso, everybody has spirit. I also recently met a child of Yemaya, crowned 46 years. And he says, we all have gifts, whether you're crowned or not, whether you're just starting off. We are all equal to one another. We all have to go the same way. This is why we should never want to control anyone. If someone wants to do something, God and the archangels give that person their will to do it. Importantly, there's so much going on and so much negativity in the world that we have to realize we must cling strongly to our faith. We must cling strongly to our ancestors. You cannot jump into Orisha faith, Sansei, 21 divisions, voodoo, anything, looking at different spiritual lives without the blessings of your ancestors, which is very important. I have a lot of people, a lot of God children I put the beads on. Do I want to control them? No. I give them advice, and I watch their ache, and I watch them grow. That doesn't mean I always have to be a part of their ache and of their life, because we are to love unconditionally the same way that Yeshua, also known as Jesus in modern times, the same way he loves unconditionally. They teach us a lesson and let that person make their decisions to move on. And I must also say, what's most important is that when someone comes to us for help, we must ethically provide those services. We may never shortcut anything. There's been horrible instances in which people have been paid to do services based on, say for example, someone who is crowned in Orisha faith. They have paid for those services, and those services were never rendered, which is really, really wrong. And I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. There are so many stories that I have heard that previously in my past, when I was starting off just like you are, that we have been through, that is unethical. So when we do services for those who are reaching out for help, we must do it 100% correctly. We must never, ever blaspheme and do witchcraft to anyone. What you do is, when someone is deliberately attacking you because they can't control you, or because they're talking to someone that you don't like, or they don't like, or whatever, you must never, ever be afraid to have friends that are in common. If you don't trust someone, let them go. Let them go. If you feel like, I don't trust this person, maybe your astrals don't agree with that person, and that's okay too. But to do harm to anyone, to do witchcraft, knowing that that person has an elderly person in their house, knowing they have children, and it will fall on top of them, is just very evil. And you may see the results, but you will also have to answer to God, the Creator, because we always must vow to do what's right. Nobody, no matter how many years you have as a mambo, how many years you have as an Orisha priestess or a Babalao, we must always give blessings to a person. And if they're doing something very unethical and you already warned them or gave them advice, or just because they're not looking for you all the time, You will have no right to do witchcraft to that person because, like I always say with all my heart, I am not going to be here forever. You will not be here forever. You have to answer to God. Cleaning yourself is just flesh and bone. It's your soul that has summoned bad spirits or evil entities to harm someone else and their family. So with me, I can only speak for myself. Shadow of Wolves, Child of Achosi works with ethics to the best of my ability. When I put the beads on someone, I put it with pure love, and I do the ceremony correct 100%. When I'm doing a reading, I bless that person and I give them the information that they're looking for. Now, if the person turns out to be evil and disrespectful, we leave it to our Orisha and our spirits and their spirits, because that means they're still walking with energies that need to be cleared up. Do know that good things always can happen to people who are doing good or bad because they have guardian angels. Now, with that being said, people who have suffered in life, who go through so much, sadly, some people have been through terrible things as children. Some people are still going through things, but that is a lesson and a challenge that we must get through. Jesus was prosecuted. Buddha was prosecuted. Gandhi was prosecuted. Arula went through jail. So in order to see what someone else's life is like, you would have to live a life as a human with respect to God. Now, in going back to this, you take the petals off and you pray. You mix your spiritual bath with clear water, with holy water. You pray for the goodness. When you do good in your next life, you will be rewarded. You will be saved. Always do good in the eyes of God, because when you do evil and wicked things, you will pay for it. It may not show right away, but you will. And then you never know if that person, their spirits, need to walk in your life to bless you. So there are people who come and go from everyone's life. It doesn't mean because someone is talking to someone else and you don't like that person, that the person that's in your life that they're talking to is a traitor. We must be out of egocentric behaviors. We must love and bond with what we have. There's so much more beauty to life. It is very important. And those who are baby witches and baby spiritualists, start very, very small in praying to God and your ancestors. Make sure that you look before you leap. Make sure that you don't shortcut anything. You cannot go to the Botanica and just grab some collares, some chains. Oh, this is Chango, I need that. Now I got Orisha made, or now no. Everything that we receive has to be done through ceremony. Everything that we do has to be done through the order of things. Just like these flowers, they grew slowly through the order of things. Just like this plant, it grew through the order of things. You must not shortcut anything. If you have statues and altars that represent Orisha, you do not have Orisha in your house, okay? You have to receive ceremonies a whole year and 7 days. Some people a year and 2 weeks had to sacrifice wearing white, no jewelry, no makeup, no glamorifications, nothing, so that they can have the blessing of that Orisha. This is very, very important. We must respect ceremony. When we are doing and talking about patakis, we must do full research. As Achosi Odemata was the son of Yemaya, Yemmu, Yembo, they have different names, the son, where she directly carried him in her stomach when she walked this earth, even though Yemaya is the mother of all. And it doesn't matter if we say, oh, this person, they look like a child of Ochun, or this person looks like a child of Obatala. It doesn't matter, because the person has astrals that also walk with them, that have lived past lives and were perhaps crowned in Ocha faith. So we must respect, just like we have to respect the Pope. I cannot go and ordain myself to be Pope. I cannot ordain myself to pull my tarot cards and pull someone's guardian angels. Yes, I can see your spirits when I do that. But ceremonies have to be respected rightfully. And if we're going to do something right, we have to do it all the way, baby. Now, some things I may have said may not be agreed with. These are my spirits, and this is what is definitely, tradition doesn't change. When you go to a misa and you go to a prayer mass, you wear your long skirt if you're a woman. Sometimes most of the times we cover our heads. We don't wear tight pants and stilettos and break the order of spirits, because then you mess up and you shift the energy of the spirits. If you're going to wear tight pants and so forth, that's for a club, and that is accepted in a club. But in order to keep things pure and sweet, there is no way of shortcutting anything. And honestly, all the people that know me personally, that are in my life, know that I really and truly love everybody, man. You could turn around and you could do me dirty, I forgive you. But there's a time when you keep getting hurt or disrespected, you don't need to tolerate that anymore, because this is your life. When you get crowned in Ocha faith, then you walk the walk with your Orisha. Your Orisha is the one that guides you and governs you. When you get crowned or you do something with Sansei, you take care of it. So, I know this is a long conversation and I could go on, but remember, nature, it follows the order of the universe. This is why we have to clean ourselves with nature. This is why the egg, we clean ourselves, which I will do as I promised someone in the next video. You must follow the order of the universe. We never, as Orisha priest and priestess, disrespect anyone's crown, because we don't really know the full story. People look like this and this and that, but once those katakos are pulled and 10 years later, someone goes to a ruler and they do the full ceremony, and a ruler says whoever that guardian angel is, through the king, as Babalaos use the equale, and the person goes to Ocha after that, then guess what? We respect their crown, because their Osun is being prayed for that Orisha above in the heavens. Also, what's very, very important is not only do we need to respect our madrinas and padrinos, but that respect is reciprocal. So just like we must respect our elders must respect us. And you must make yourself happy. You must make yourself happy, because you only have one life in this life. So with all that being said, those who watched the whole video, I'm sending you so much love and blessings. If you don't feel like you can trust someone, and if you don't want to be around them, don't. Even if that's for me. Your astrals may not agree with mine. But anyone who doesn't want spiritually, who have spiritual godchildren and don't want them to shine and be independent, and as long as they're respecting you, they're not, doing things out of the ordinary, then why not? There are no kings and queens higher in this world than each other. Every single person who was born and pushed out from their mother, whether it was through their stomach, whether it was the other way, they're born with a crown. They're born with the guardian angels. They're born with God. Let the past go and focus on you. I promise you, as Yeshua said, my Father has many mansions. Your rewards are greater in heaven. I'm sending you all Ireoma, Ariku, Babao. Blessings, and remember this. You are not better than anyone. I'm not better than anyone. We all can learn something. Our fingerprints are different. Why? Because God gave us all a different design and something to walk with. Thank you for watching Shadow of Wolves. I'm sending you all love, blessings, and peace. Ache Modupwe.